On our podcast, we're going to be talking about The Honeymoon is Over.
And learning about all of our quirks and craziness.
Welcome to our podcast. He's Kevin.
She's Robyn.
And we're the Schwobs. All right. So today we're going to talk about
who we married.
Yeah. What it's like being married to each other.
Oh, boy.
Especially in the first few years. Because things have changed from 2001 when we got married.
Definitely.
To 2023.
Almost 22. Wow.
Well, almost 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
February
17th.
It's February 17th. And we are getting away.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about some of our quirks.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that drove you crazy about me. We'll start there. We'll put you on the hot seat first.
Oh, boy. Not surprised at all, folks.
Nope.
Not in the least. I don't know if it was, what drove me crazy. I loved to give you compliments. But, oh my gosh, giving this woman compliments, guys, it was like, don't even think about complimenting me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Now, gals, you look forward to getting compliments.
No,
at least the
majority.
Majority, yes.
Maybe. But you can't.
You weren't used to it.
No, but you can't speak for every female because
this is true.
I'm not a normal female.
No, not by a long shot. Normal. No, see, my mom gave her something a couple of years back that put her to a T.
I tried normal once. It was the longest 3 seconds of my life.
It was the worst 2 minutes of your life.
Yeah. So,
you are not normal.
No. So, compliments. So you want to insult me? You want to attempt to say something sarcastic to me?
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Yeah. I won't even wince at you. I won't even blink. I will come back with something. Or
she won't get mad at you.
I'll insult myself so you don't have to. That's just because of how I was raised. It was just second nature. We were a very sarcastic house. In fact, you said sarcasm was my first language. English is my second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's not wrong.
That's just how you guys roll.
He would tell me I was beautiful, and I would stick my tongue out at him.
Mm-hmm.
He would tell me I looked
good. And other things. She'd go, oh,
no, I would squirm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not beautiful. I'm not this, I'm not that. I can take a compliment.
Well, you're...
For the most part now.
Oh, very much so. But your self-esteem, you weren't used to that. And so it was hard for you to hear. And I wanted to make sure that you knew that you were beautiful. And, and that was just hard for you to hear.
It was.
And so that was something that I felt that I wanted to do, but you needed that.
Yes.
You needed that. You are one that loves to be affirmed, but when it comes to looks, you were like, no, I'm not even going to have anything of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't,
You take it a lot better now.
I take it better now, but
it took 10 years.
I ain't nothing special.
No, yes, you are. To deal with a guy like me.
To deal with a guy like you. Well, should we talk about
straight. Go ahead. Dive.
Honestly, I'm going to start something with something that's going to like shock you because I'm not going to
Do
start
I
with
need
a
to
negative.
brace myself?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not going to
wow.
start with a negative.
Okay.
One thing I learned about you being married to you is you are very much supportive. You support anything and everything. And I didn't have a real job then when we first started married.
No, you were still temping.
I was still temping.
You were in a permanent temp, I think.
No,
weren't you?
I don't think so, because I remember in September I was substituting at a daycare center.
Okay, right.
So
and then when you left the daycare center.
That's what it was. Soon after, it was in December that I started nannying for the Fultz clan, and that was my job.
And going the wrong way in 285.
No, that wasn't really that.
That wasn't the Fultzes?
Okay, so he is discussing my sense of direction.
No, that was Drew. Yeah, when you were with Drew, I think.
No, that was when I babysat when I was at the daycare center in Cumming.
Oh, okay.
And I babysat, and I got turned around on 285 and ended up going all the way around.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
I ended up calling you because cell phones was a thing, but I didn't have a GPS at that point.
No, GPSs were not in play yet.
So what he is discussing right now, folks, is the fact that I have no sense of direction whatsoever. This is my right. This is my left. I say that all the time. We joke that the only reason I know my left from my right is because of this baby.
Yep.
So
that pretty baby.
Yeah. So
whenever that's off, boy, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's that part. And then the other thing about you is one thing that really sometimes would really affect our marriage. And that was your relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
His mom is wonderful.
But I'm a mama's boy.
He's a mama's boy.
Almost to a fault.
And he did not, the Bible, and we believe very much in the Bible. We believe very much in our faith in Jesus Christ. So this is how we see things. And sometimes he doesn't even see things. And
right. No, I was blind to some things that it says
two shall become one.
Yeah.
And for this reason, you will leave your mother and father and cleave to each other.
Right.
And we made a decision early on in our relationship, before we got married, of how we were going to deal with our in-laws. Now, here's the difference. Your mother lived 10 minutes from us. My mother lived 10 hours from us.
Yep.
Driving. Flying, it was 2.
Right.
And so you didn't have to deal with my mother very often. No. And so we would discuss stuff, and we would say stuff, and we would put a plan in action. And then he would be talking to his mother. He talked to his mother almost daily, no big deal. All of a sudden, my plan, our decision, went out the door. And a whole new decision that I had no part of. And the thing that irked me the most of all this, and I've gotten through it. We've walked through it. We've talked about it. We've pushed on.
If we hadn't, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Right. But the one thing that irked me is he would tell me all the time, "You're my queen." And I would look at him and I would say, "No, I'm not. I'm still a princess." "No, you're not. You're my queen." "No, the queen's the one dictating stuff in this house that doesn't even live here." "No, that's not true." I mean, I remember this was many years later, not our first year, but we got in a huge fight on the way to church over
house.
Church. No, this was before that, church. Okay. And it was about the fact that I stuck up for you when my mom came in town and did things.
And you didn't get the same.
And when your mother did things that hurt me, and they weren't on purpose,
Right.
Your mom does not have a mean bone in her body.
No.
And she doesn't do anything on purpose. It's definitely, she's trying to do what's best. She's trying to figure out what's best.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you have to understand a few things about Kev. He was born with water on the brain. He didn't walk till he was 3 years old. He didn't talk till he was 3 years old.
And I wasn't supposed to walk or talk to begin
at
with.
all.
Right.
And so you were very much cared for and loved for and nurtured,
right,
and bubble wrapped.
She's not wrong. And the thing that I found, and my mom, she is a fantastic lady.
Incredible. I love her. She
shared some things with you that she's never shared with me.
Right. But here's the thing. I mean, just so people understand how much I love your mom. I write for a living. I do a blog, and I have a website, and I write stories. And anything I write on my blog, I try and do 2 a month.
Mm-hmm.
His mother is my editor for those.
Chief editor. Mm-hmm. Yep.
His mother edits all my contact that goes on my website for my posts.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't do it without her. And so I know she's listening.
Oh, yeah.
I know she is. So, Mom, know I love you.
And probably cringing as she's hearing some of this conversation, but it's all good.
Mom, we love you.
Absolutely.
And we're very thankful that you are in our lives.
Yes, we are.
And so, do you see this?
Mm-hmm. I don't think we intended to go this way, but this is how God works this thing.
This is how things...
This is good.
But that... So, and you have to understand, when you and I were dating,
mm-hmm.
your mom and I went out to lunch, and she was telling me about your seizure disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me how I needed to be on it, how you were really good at watching your medication and being on your meds, but some of the signs that I need to look for, and some
mm-hmm.
of the things that had to do with you, if you were too tired, if you got too stressed,
mm-hmm.
the triggers of a seizure.
Right.
I'm not the one who triggered that seizure. Happy to say it was a nurse.
A medical professional of all people.
Yes. Anyway, so that was one of the hardest things for me when we first got married, is I felt like I was competing
mm-hmm.
with your mom.
Right.
And and I wasn't very vocal about it at first.
No. But when you were, then
the horse was killed already 5 times.
Yeah. But, and rightfully so, I was the guy that you vented it out to,
yes.
which should have been where it needed to go anyway. But you will find this out throughout the podcast, I'm an overthinker. I overthink things. I take everybody's opinion
We are not kidding when we gave that analogy of the pool.
Oh my gosh.
At all.
Yeah.
For those of you tuning in and haven't seen our other podcast yet, which we encourage you to go back. Yes, I'm was
aimlessly plugging. 1, 2, and 3.
But he walks around the pool. He does not even walk into the pool. He walks around. He checks the temperature. It drives me nuts.
Puts the toe in. Mm-hmm.
Yet his wife jumps off the high rise without
Before
even
looking to see if there's water down
which
there.
Drives him
absolutely
insane.
Crazy.
And so he analyzes even the slightest thing. So we're having a conversation or a loving argument.
Heated discussion as our pastor says.
Heated discussion.
Heated discussion.
I can go on for what? 20 minutes?
No. You could probably do 2 or 3 podcasts on it.
He's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I have to shut up and let him talk. 5 minutes. 10 minutes.
I take too long to process.
15 minutes.
Way too long.
25, an hour and a half later, I've walked away.
She's like, yo, dude, speak.
I'm like, no, that's not what I do. What I do is I can continue to beat the dead horse that's been dead for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. And all I have to do is look at her and see the fume that is fuming up inside this woman. full barrels are ready to be fired.
So what do I mean by beat the... Do you want to tell him what I mean by beat the dead horse?
I will tell it, and I'm sure somewhere along this podcast I will be corrected. But no, never. Beating the dead horse, she will bring something up from the past. It could be 2 months ago. It could be 15 years ago.
It could be 21 years ago.
Well, we're not. I was trying to give myself a little credit, but okay, you want to do that?
It wasn't giving you credit. It was being honest, because this is against me. This is a fault I had when we first got married. That I am, may I say, much better on.
Extremely much better. But she would bring stuff up from the past.
When would I bring it up, though?
In the middle of a very loving, heated discussion. And yes, there was just a bit of sarcasm in that. But she would, full barrels would be ready to fire. And the entire laundry list would come out. And I finally looked at her and I said, "Hun, there's nothing that I can do about 10 years ago."
Well, said, technically they were never 10 years ago.
Well, no, but I'm just using numbers as
I would say 2 months ago, 6 months ago, which I have to say was not totally true. If you had taken care of it then, it wouldn't have come back to haunt you.
Yeah, life lessons that husbands in general have to, put into play.
The wife's always right. Rule number 2, if the wife is wrong, refer back to rule number 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brainwash the husband. Yeah,
I see nothing wrong with this.
Oh, of course not. Not at all.
Remember, what mine is what yours is mine.
Yeah. Hall of Fame sweatshirt. Yep. There you go. That was gone day one.
My bad.
Yeah, your bed.
From day one, my bed. Mm-hmm. Even though he brought the bed into the marriage, it was my bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
He didn't have a bed. It was my bed.
No.
I don't think I've said ours.
Ours is not in your vocabulary, I don't think. But there is a 4-letter word that is, and it's mine.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
He's mine.
That's right. All day long. All day long. Boy, am I glad she says that after 22 years of marriage, especially what's been, Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but
let's talk about a fun topic.
Oh boy, a fun.
Oh no, you
topic.
You will appreciate this topic.
I will. Okay, go.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Bugs.
Oh. Okay, guys. So, Robyn, whenever something is wrong, I hear the Kevin. So I'll go in the room and there's a dead cockroach. Okay, so what should be done here?
Kevin should go over and pick it up. And I know all the ladies right now are nodding with me.
Mm-hmm, nodding with you. Now, I understand if it's live,
no.
then okay.
No.
I'll, swoop in, kill the thing, and no. But guys, this thing's already dead.
Can we discuss this? Because we've discussed this many times. And I am sure someone will agree with me. I've heard way too many stories. Horror stories about a cockroach being on its back and looking dead. And you go to pick it up and it starts moving and flops over.
Hello.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
So there is a Muppets episode that we love to refer to quite often. And it's talking about tarantulas. And
Robyn, don't play with no tarantulas.
And so just like Robyn don't play with no tarantulas,
Robyn don't play with no cockroaches.
So I have to swoop in and interrupt what I'm doing to pick up this dead, again the word dead cockroach. Okay,
this was my favorite one because he complained for about 10 minutes afterwards. With this rant, it was the same rant. Why can't you pick up a stinking dead cockroach? The cockroach is dead. Why can't you?
It is not going to hurt you.
That is your opinion. Mine is a little different.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we're living in our apartment.
Right.
And we had
Our loft.
a chair, a wicker chair. And I noticed there was a cockroach under it. And it looked dead. But I wasn't sure. I was home. He was at work.
You called me in the office.
I called him and told him that when he got home, if it was still there was a cockroach he needed to take care of.
Now, you got to remember, texting was not a thing quite yet.
No.
So,
And he's like, well, what? I'm like, no, I am not taking care of it.
the secretary in our office is just shaking her head, I'm sure.
Oh, I have another topic we can talk about.
Oh, can't wait. So anyway, let's finish this one.
So we get home. He takes care of the cockroach. And I proceed to have this conversation yet again about why I don't
do tarantulas.
Cockroaches.
Or cockroaches.
Yeah.
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 Don't do spiders. I mean, I will kill a spider.
Yeah, you will. You will stomp on them
I
hard.
will stomp on them hard. I
but
have a
you
rule.
will not stomp on a tarantula.
No.
This is the funny thing. She'll stomp on a spider, but she won't stomp on a tarantula.
Or a cockroach.
You know. Yeah, but
I have not seen a live tarantula.
A live tarantula? No, because we don't play with tarantulas.
Right. So you're talking more cockroach than tarantula.
Yeah. So anyway,
you just got that skit in your head way too much.
I do. So anyway, dealing with cockroaches, that was a strange thing to me. I'm like, okay, so I need to help this woman out with cockroaches.
Okay, so let's discuss another thing that you do.
What's that?
Oh
boy.
Though he is a deep thinker when it comes to problems and situations, sometimes...
Because I think I need to problem solve.
Yes. Sometimes he puts his foot in his mouth.
Oh,
really, really badly. Now, any other woman would be mad and put him in the doghouse.
Oh, yes. So we're going to the cows part of our discussion.
Oh, yes, we're going to the cows.
Oh, yes, we are.
This is our first year. This all happened. These things all happened our first year of marriage.
Oh, guys.
We were getting to know each other, and we had been together for almost 2 years when we got married.
Yeah.
But we never lived together.
No.
And so...
No. Well, technically, okay, so the year that we dated and our courtship, we spent a lot of time together.
We spent a lot of time together, but we did not live together.
No, we did not live together.
And then you moved out of your parents' house,
in December.
And we got married in February.
Right.
So you were only there 2 months before I moved in, and I lived right down the street. Or actually not even down the street, like 6 apartments over.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, we had time away from each other.
Yeah.
And the only time we had away now was when we were working.
Right, exactly.
And, we spent nights together. So we're out talking one night in bed. We're in bed, sitting there just talking about different things, and children come up. Now, you have to understand, I was 31
when we had
I was 26 when we got married. And I was ready to have kids, and I wanted a lot of children.
When we were dating, you were talking 8 guys. I looked at her and I said, tell you what, let's talk 2. And I'll send you to Utah for the other 6.
Isn't he sweet?
Ain't I sweet? But
so we're talking children, and we had decided, because Kevin was not ready to delve there yet. We had decided it would be a year or 2 before we started trying.
Yeah.
But we were still talking it, as you do with your spouse, about things. And
hypotheticals
and I made the comment that I was going to look like a cow.
A moo.
Yes. And my loving husband.
Supportive.
Husband. Yes. Supportive.
So I made the huge mistake and said, well, you'll be a beautiful one.
Yep.
Now, your typical female would have slugged me on the spot.
And you know all the guys are cringing right now.
Oh, they are. Mm-hmm.
Man, how could you have said something so stupid?
What the heck were you thinking?
Now,
I wasn't. That was the problem.
I, being the loving, understanding wife,
have used it against me ever since.
went out the next day and bought a stuffed cow.
Mm-hmm.
And
a very small one, in fact.
And put it on our bed.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, that cow has gone away.
Yeah.
But ever since then, and who knows, I may find one in one day on our podcast, you may see a cow.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Ever since then, every now and then, a cow pops up in a gift for him.
So she, when this first happened, I was working at Fireman's Fund, and she put it in my briefcase with a note that says, "You are to put this on your computer." And she tag teamed with my boss, in fact. Allison, if you ever hear this, you can definitely confirm this information. Yeah. So, and there, to prove that it was in the office, it was to be on my computer, and a picture was going to be taken. And yeah, people in the office heard this story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of office stories,
oh, no.
So first year of marriage, guys, yeah, this happens in the first year. So my office has a Halloween party, and my supportive wife over here says, "So
okay, wait. We have to explain something. We have to explain something.
Okay.
Kevin doesn't do Halloween.
I don't. No.
Kevin doesn't do dress up.
No, she bought me a shirt that says, "This is my Halloween costume."
Yeah.
Yes.
So I, on the other hand, now we don't do Halloween so much anymore.
No.
But in 2001, I love dressing up from time to time. It's just something I enjoy. And so I was like, "Oh, you can actually dress up at your job?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, that's so awesome." I'm not doing it. What do you mean you're not doing it?
And so I then said, "Tell you what, yeah, this was not smart. This is part of the I wasn't thinking program."
This was he was over the moon in love with me still.
Oh,
first year honeymoon area.
Yeah. And so I said to her, "Tell you what, you buy it or make it, and I'll wear it."
Somewhere floating around in my pictures, somewhere floating around on the internet, is a picture of Kevin with a huge, and I mean huge, hat.
It was in the form,
it
was a pumpkin, and it was, the tongue was sticking out.
Yep. And he wore it.
My boss looks at me and says, "Kevin, is there something that we need to know?" And I'm like, "You really don't want to know." And Allison says, "All I have to say is first year of marriage." Yeah. The thing that I should have remembered, and you would have thought that I knew this in the back of my head, but yeah, love is blind. Yeah.
Love is stupid sometimes.
Don't challenge Robyn Ellen Schwob.
Nope.
Don't do it.
Nope.
Because she loves to prove you wrong.
Yes, I do. There's only one person on this earth that I have never proven wrong.
Your mother?
No, I've proven her wrong many times. He's actually not on this earth anymore. But one person in my life that I have yet to prove wrong.
Your grandfather.
And that would be my grandpa.
Yeah.
My grandpa said, I was living with him at one point, and I was working at 6 a.m. and staying out till midnight. You do the math on how many hours of sleep I was getting. And he said to me one day. But
that's when you were a spring chicken.
That's when I was, in my 20s, young 20s. He said to me, "You can't burn the candle at both ends." I did try for a while. I finally decided that this is one area. I'm going to take his word for it, and I'll try. I'm too old now to even consider it.
No. But for the first 5 years, you definitely tried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think probably after Kenny was born was when you probably put
some of
that
it behind me. Yeah.
behind you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those those things that would typically drive a woman nuts. Oh, she took it to her advantage, and
So there are things today I still tease him about that he did. He don't even remember, which makes it even greater. I don't let him forget the moo cow one though.
No. Mm-mm.
But I've never held. I mean, I think this is where one thing that is positive about me.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, there's a lot of positives about it.
Well, I mean, I don't. Even though I beat the horse, the only time you hear it was when I was ticked off beyond all belief with you.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of were like, "Hey, this needs to stop. This is not working. This is not." And people have said, some of my bosses have said the one thing they love about me is I take coaching to heart.
You do.
And I now, granted, the beating the horse thing, it did take me a while because it's how I lived my life, 25 years.
Right.
And so that was a little bit harder for me to just let go of.
Right.
But I've been able to do that with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think, I get mad, you know it. I don't hold it in.
Right.
Poor Kevin. I don't hold it in. Never have. You know what I think. You know how I feel. You know what I'm feeling. You know what I'm, you know it all.
You are what you are, and here's what it is.
And this is what I've told him. And it's so funny because he'll roll his eyes at me every now and then. Like I said, like we've said, we've almost been married 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I will look at him sweet and go, honey, I was this way the day you asked me to marry you. I was this day the day we met. Mm-hmm. And you said yes anyway. So you're stuck with me.
Yeah. And gladly stuck with you.
You're insane.
Yeah, well, but
I would say the thing but I think the thing that's helped us stay together is the fact that I have always been very blunt.
Yeah, you have. You've been very blunt, and
how I feel.
You have been good, and especially with the most recent years, but you've been good with being blunt, but also knowing when to do it in a coaching manner, so to speak.
Now I haven't had 20 some odd years of practice of that.
Well, this is true.
Because when we first got married, there was no coaching.
No.
It was very blunt, very harsh, very matter of fact. The only thing I did well when we first got married is because of the field I have my associate's degree in, which is early childhood education.
Right.
We learned how to do the I feel thing. Because you would teach the children how to do the I feel. I feel like da.
Right.
And so I do that a lot with you.
You do.
And I did do a lot of this.
Yeah. Because when you do that, you've got three fingers pointing back at.
Well, yeah, but I could have done this.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is true.
But I tried not to point.
No.
You and say, you did this, you did this, that.
Right.
Right. I didn't always succeed. I didn't. I had my downfalls.
Right.
But it is, I look back on what I can remember of our first year of marriage and of our first home in the apartment.
Yeah.
And some of the fun we had.
We had a lot of learning curves.
And I also dealt with you being away for the first time. And we were in the apartment when 9/11 happened.
Yes. Oh boy. And we can both remember where we were, and of course, who doesn't?
Yeah.
But
and that I was very thankful for him that night when we were home and we just snuggled and we just spent time together.
Yeah.
And, you know,
that was, we just got, we snuggled, we reminisced, I think.
We did.
We reflected a lot.
We called all family members.
Yeah. And, it really put life into perspective.
It did.
Because, nobody is promised tomorrow.
That's right.
And that's not just a catchphrase.
No.
It's very true.
It is.
And, that could have been New York. That could have been Atlanta. That could have been either one of our offices at the time.
It was New York, but,
Well, right. It could have been any other places besides.
This is what he deals with.
See what I deal with? And I love every minute of it.
I knew he was going to go there.
Here's the thing, is that your typical wife would use that as a see, look at this, but she doesn't do that. Thankfully. But, the thing that has been, one of the things that's been great is that you take coaching to heart, whoever gives it to you. Yeah. That's been very hard for me to do.
Yeah. Your cooking shows it.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. You're going to see a lot of that throughout the podcast.
So on our next,
anyway.
Seeing I went there, on our next podcast, we'll talk about Kevin's cooking ability.
Or lack thereof.
Kevin's cleaning ability.
Cleaning I can handle. She does the cooking, I do the cleaning. That was the rule that we made.
No. The rule we made was whoever cooked didn't have to clean.
Okay.
The kitchen.
And we found out very quickly who the better cook of the two was. Definitely that one.
Anyway, that's it for this time. I hope you really guys enjoy listening to us. We
enjoy doing this.
We enjoy doing this. We enjoy sharing who we are and what we've learned and how we've grown from it. And
if you enjoy this podcast, we encourage you to like it,
share it,
and subscribe to it.